Sending your job is the final step in MillMage's all-in-one design-to-finished product workflow. In this video, we'll cover Control Mode, a special view with curated tools and menus focused solely on controlling your machine and making final pre-flight checks. MillMage supports direct control for machines running Gerbil, close Gerbil variants, Fluid NC, or SmoothieWare. If your machine requires its own control software to process G-code, you can still design and generate toolpaths in MillMage. We'll cover the Export Operations Wizard in a future video. MillMage's default view is Edit Mode, where you do all of your design work, lay out your project, and assign operations to the shapes in your workspace. Once you've confirmed your settings and previewed your job, you're ready to move into Control Mode. By default, MillMage automatically enters Control Mode when you press the Process button in the Job Control window. You can disable this behavior by toggling off the Require Control Mode switch, but be aware that your job will run immediately after you press Start. With or without the switch enabled, you can always click the Control Mode button to switch to that mode. To make changes to an operation or design element, you'll need to exit Control Mode and enter Edit Mode. Do this at any time by clicking the Edit Mode button from the Job Control window. At the left side of the Control Mode window is the G-code display, which shows all commands that will be sent to your machine once the job is started. The contents of this display are color-coded for easier reading. The main central display of Control Mode shows a wireframe representation of the active operations, along with a summary of the job at the bottom of the window. Use your mouse to pan, rotate, and zoom in on the wireframe preview. If you click on any line of the G-code display, or a segment of the toolpath in the wireframe, the information at the bottom updates. The feed rate in millimeters per minute and inches per minute, spindle speed in RPM, and G-code line number is depicted in blue for your current selection. The blue crosshair represents your tool position at the currently selected line of G-code. The total number of G-code lines is displayed in black, and in green you can see an outline of your material stock. While the job is running, the tool's X and Y coordinates display in red, and a red crosshair shows the current position of the tool. You'll also see an orange crosshair, which represents the tool position in the data stream. The red crosshair and the physical location of your tool will lag behind the orange crosshair if job data streams to your machine at a greater rate than the machine can process the commands. This is especially common when you're working with complex geometry. Towards the right side of Control Mode, we have the Move window, where you can home the machine, jog the tool around the work area, get tool position, zero out each axis, move the tool to saved positions, and activate optional hardware features. We covered this window in detail in a separate video that will be linked in the description. Clicking on the Console tab brings the console window into view. This displays messages from your machine's controller along with commands sent to it by MillMage. You can manually input direct commands to your CNC through this window. The last tab in this panel is for the Macros window. You can add macro buttons in the Macros window to store and quickly send frequently used commands. Visit our documentation for more information on creating macros. The final window in Control Mode is the Job Control window. Use this to select your CNC, frame and start job, save and load G-code, and more. The Start button commands your CNC machine to immediately begin running your current project. While running, press pause to momentarily halt a running job. When ready to continue, click Resume to pick up where you left off. Stop sends an abort command to your CNC. Note that this button does not replace the need for a dedicated emergency stop switch that kills the power to your machine and spindle. This is extremely important. If something goes very wrong during a job, the stop button in MillMage must not be the only method for stopping your machine. Use the two frame buttons to preview the position of the job in your CNC's work area by commanding the toolhead to trace a path around the area where your project will output. Bounding box commands your machine to trace a path defined as the smallest possible rectangle that will fully contain all graphics you're sending, while rubber band commands it to trace the smallest possible path that fully contains all graphics, as if a rubber band were stretched around them. The speed used for travel when framing is determined by the value set in the speed field of the move window. Save G-code opens the export operations window, where you can save your current project as a G-code file. Use run G-code to load and run a G-code file previously saved in the appropriate format for your CNC's firmware. If your machine has limit switches configured and supports homing, click Home to return the machine to its homing location and reset the machine origin. The Show Last Position button places a crosshair cursor in the workspace at the last reported location of the CNC's toolhead. If you jog the machine within MillMage using any of the positioning tools, the position will be updated. It's important to note that this position does not update live while the job is running. In our last video, we zeroed out the workpiece coordinates for our two-part press fit box. After running a quick framing command to verify the positioning is where we expect it, we're ready to press start and begin running our job. For this particular job, we're only using a single tool, so they will all run one after another. If your project contains multiple tools, after the operations for your first tool completes, you'll need to jump back into edit mode to disable the completed operations and enable the operations for the next tool. Make sure to zero out the Z location for each tool before you begin running the job. Now you know what control mode is and how to use it to process jobs on your machine. In our next video, we'll cover the export operations wizard for machines that don't support direct control in MillMage. Check out our documentation to learn more about this mode, and subscribe for more great videos on mastering MillMage.